someone who came from school the other day. Body language, she appears to be mature and knowledgeable.
She has officers who are supporting her within the departments, because each and every department has a procurement officer. So, and there are so many documents that she is dealing with, because there are so many, there are hundreds of these. So
now, as a result,
yes,
she has to deal with ESCC. You see? If there's already so much that they are dealing with, now an additional stakeholder they have to deal with is ESCC, because they could not just do the simple and correct thing of providing the documents to the auditor when the auditor was in Bomet.
I don't want to say much about this, but this is something that it captured also my attention, and as I've said, we have been...
So let me ask you a question there.
Yes.
So, Governor, you're saying you saw the letters.
Yes.
So if you have the letters, why was it difficult to share the same letters with the ESCC?
I think we have supplied. Some of these documents have actually been called by the ESCC.
Not with the ESCC, with the auditor.
Yeah, that is a question that you were asked. And the position of the auditors is they didn't see, but we have supplied to this committee. They are available.
Are we able to no, it does not really work that way.
Yes.
That's not how it works.
But Chair, even let's assume they have supplied. Let's have them now. If you have supplied, let's have them, so that we also, discount the fact that they are saying they did not receive, yet you have supplied.
I think the annex. What is it?
You see the risk, Governor.
Yes.
We understand Mchezwa Town. When the auditor reveals some of these things, what your procurement guys will do, they'll call back the contractors and give them something different to sign that is within the timelines. And then they are called correct letters. Then we are told it was an error. And yet you're just trying to rectify things to comply with the law. So, Senator, I think we can look at them, but they will not be very useful. It does not take away the irregularity. It does not take away the criminality. And
the action, Chair, and remind them, the action is not today. The action is at the time of audit.
The time of audit.
That's where the issue is.
And there are small things, 3 million, 4 million, 3 million, 4 million, 5 million, which is inviting the ESCC to open almost 5 files in Bomet. So, Governor, if it concerns you, if it worries you, because I don't know why you look like these things don't worry you, but it is possible to have an audit report that is not 300 pages. It's possible. By people doing the right thing. It is possible for you to have an audit report where nothing is referred to the ESCC by people doing the right thing at the right time. Senator Chiranki.
Maybe, Chair, I'm still stuck to where the procurement, and no one has answered the question, where is the real letters? From what you have said, below 5 million, I really want to see the letter. The OAG are not saying he has not seen the letter. Can maybe the governor provide us with the correct...
You see Annex 7.
Annex
7.
Annex 7, I don't know, let me Annex 7.
Let's be careful also, members, that the resolution of the committee was the ESCC to do the investigation.
Yes.
So let us not be the ones investigating. Let them look at those letters, confirm their authenticity, and indeed, if there's an explanation, then I believe that ESCC can advise us that, yes, we have seen the letters, this matter is not irregular, as claimed.
But it is only for one Magrer Katkeleje Ramkoi Road.
Is to have Annex 9 for others, I think Annex 9.
Okay. I can see Annex 9. There is nothing under Annex 9. This annual development plan. Annex 10. So then my question only, Chair, will be, why was this letters or this information provided to the OAG? Governor, why was it not provided to OAG?
Chair, let me clarify.
Yes.
At the time we were auditing these financial statements, they were not provided. But during the verification for this meeting, they were provided.
That is on Tuesday last week.
Yes.
So can you give us an assurance that what was provided was authentic?
Chair, we don't have that capacity.
Correct. So let's leave it to the institution with the capacity. Honorable members, we have a very few minutes to go. Honorable members, let's go to Chebunyo Dairy Milk Processing Plant. The details are in the report of the Auditor General. You have spent about 130 million on this. That is the one that comes after the steel footbridge at Ndaraweta. Then you have Chebunyo Dairy Milk Processing Plant. I think anything that looks like this appears to be a project that is positive and enabling. The amounts there is 85 million. You have supplied equipment worth 45 million, delivered on 16 July 2020, 4 years back, but had not been installed. The contractor was not on site. Governor, could you tell us why this is the case? This is a value for money question.
Thank you, Chair. The auxiliary works for the project were completed in the year 2020, financial year 2024-2025, which included electrical works. The machines, those supplied, were not installed, since the supplier was not paid for supply of installations and installation of the equipment. This was occasioned by delayed approval of from the county assembly communicating the policy approval. And this is a project that we did with the support of World Vision. They contributed money, we contributed to one account, but in the process, we were advised by the controller of budget that we were supposed to have a very clear policy in our support to cooperatives. So we initiated that process, but it took a while. I mean, it took some time with the assembly, and that is why we could not extend support to these cooperatives so that they could pay the outstanding debt to the supplier who refused to install.
So, Governor, this sounds like a good project.
It is, yeah.
It sounds like the kind of things that county government should be doing. But it is an example of how not to do it. You bought equipment when the auxiliary works were not done. You bought equipment before the place where the equipment was to be installed was complete.
There were some small works that were remaining, Chair, and that is what we completed through the support of the department, not directly to the cooperative.
In 2024, 2025,
when the equipment was
the equipment was bought in 2020.
Yes, and it landed in 2021, I think.
Was delivered on 16th July 2020.
Yes.
2020. So why I thought there was a process. You know, you can't buy the equipment before the place is ready. Logically, isn't it?
It's true, Chair.
So as we speak now, the people around Chebunyo Dairy Milk Processing Plant are not getting value from this investment.
Correct, as reflected by this audit report.
So what is your, let's first start with what's your plan? How do you make sure that this 130 million that's been spent here there is value for money for it, before we apply our minds to the illegalities around it?
Now that we've been able to complete our policy, and we have a budget, and with this budget, the current budget, we have captured some money, included some money for installation, that is clearance of what is pending to this contractor so that he can do the installation. So we have the money. Because it's only around 5.9 million that we have not paid.
If I was a farmer in this region, when will I be able to bring my milk to this processing plant?
Chair, I want to promise that in the next 3 months, we'll have this equipment installed. Because even our plan was, because we are supplying milk to ECD centers, that this cooperative will be able to package the milk for us and sell to us as county government. That was the plan.
So, sorry, Chair, there's something that is not clear. You are saying that you've not commissioned the project or the plant because you are yet to pay some amount to the contractor.
Right.
Yet, in your response, you're saying that auxiliary works of the project have been completed in the financial year 24-25, which include electrical works, and then you say management has budgeted for UST line to be done in the current financial year. Plans are underway for installation, testing, and commissioning of the plant. So have you installed the project, or you're not using the project because you've not installed it, or is it because you've not paid some amount to them?
I think it should be clear, these are different contractors. The contractor who was constructing the building is different from the one who was supplying the equipment. So those are two different contractors.
Why aren't you using the project? Let's start again. Why aren't you using the...
Because the equipment has not been installed. And the installation was supposed to be done by the supplier. But
so has it been supplied?
Yes, the equipment is on site. Mm-hmm. The installation has not been done. Mm-hmm. Reason for this is because we still owe some money to the supplier. And the reason why we didn't pay this money was because of the cooperative policy. We made requisition to support this cooperative to the controller of budget, but she refused to approve. Reason was we were supposed to have a policy support of this support going to cooperatives. So, and we have done that. We have done the approval has been done by the assembly, and we have a budget for the same. And that's why I'm promising that in the next 3 months, this milk processing facility will be operational. That one I want to commit, Chair.
Chair, it's not clear to me again. So maybe I'm a low taker. They're called slow learners. I want to ask this question again. You know the contract was for 3,520,000, and it was awarded for the supply, installation, training, and commissioning of Chebuyo milk processing plant. Now you are saying who has not been paid?
The supplier of the equipment.
And this 43 million was for what?
That was, we still have a part payment that is remaining of 5.9. And the supplier gave a condition, clearance, and then you will install.
But was the facility ready for installation of equipment?
It was, Chair.
What about these things that you are saying, auxiliary works that have been done in 2024?
There was some minor correction that was done in terms of the millimeters of wires that were used. And that is why the department stepped in to correct that from the assessment of the supplier.
Is World Vision still talking to Bomet County government?
It is, and it is also a concern. So they have also been pushing us to complete because it is an investment and they must see value for that investment that they made.
So this equipment, where are they? They're still lying in cartons or in a container?
Yeah, in the building that has been constructed.
Since 2000?
Yeah, they are.
They've not been tested because it was to be for supply, installation, training, and commissioning. So you have no idea even whether they're going to work.
But that will be now the responsibility of the supplier because they have not been tampered with. They are still in boxes.
So from 2020 up to now, you've not completed payment of part of the 43 million?
We haven't. It's in this financial year that we have the money.
And he's talking of 5.9 million, standing between this thing and the milk farmers of Bomet. Even though your officer had said 50 million was small money, it might mean that 5.9 is much smaller. Senator
Chairman, I have physically visited this particular project or facility, and I would like to reserve my comments. I just want to appreciate the fact that Governor is saying the facility is ready for installation of the equipment. It's one of the projects, maybe for purposes of disclosure, Honorable Chair, we are going with the committee on Friday on devolution. I'm happy that we will have a report on the readiness of the facility to have the facility operationalized, because the last time I was there, that's why I said I reserved my comments, it wasn't ready, but I'm happy the governor is saying it's now ready. We definitely will look forward to have the facility run. But then again, I equally is unable to understand the responses that were given by Governor to Senator Maruma on the outstanding payment. But unfortunately, Chair, this is a 2020 project, so it would have been a priority one, because the reason why it was taken to Chepalungu, it's actually in Chepalungu constituency. The reason why I believe it became a priority project there is because this is the only economic activity that can be done by the people within that constituency, because they don't grow tea, but they do milk. And so with the prioritization that the county government would have done, 2020, it's now 5 years down the line, we're still hoping and expecting that in 3 months' time we will install this. But of this one, this is the only one that has been picked. I do not know whether you will permit me to also ask the governor to prioritize, if any other such facilities are in your plan for the county. Because if it were to be operationalized, the number that are existing, it would help the people of Bomet in a very big way. But I want to just leave it at that for now.
Yeah, you said there could be others, and there are others in this report. So there we are dealing with milk, there is sweet potatoes, and there is a fresh produce pack house. Maybe we'll want to deal with them globally, so that we see the level of sensitivity the governor has for the hardworking farmers of Bomet. Senator Chirage.
Maybe, Chair, the OAG, before you came here, were you able to visit this project? And number two, maybe finally, as Senator Sike has said, Governor, now that this project was in 2020, and you are saying the contractor there's amount that have not been paid, is there a plan, have you budgeted with the county assembly to ensure you pay so that you can install? Because, Chair, we have a similar, and I know Sige might know, one that is taking away our money in caveat, that has consumed 1.2 billion in Nandi, but it's yet to produce even or package half a liter of milk. So the clarification I need, Governor, can you confirm to us, because, Chair, I think we have agreed that in January this year we might visit some of these counties and see some of these projects on the ground. Have you budgeted for, and maybe if the OAG has cited this project?
And Chair, allow me, as he responds to that, I crafted the question about other existing milk plants, if they are there. The reason I'm asking that, Honorable Chair, is because Governor has told us here that he has been unable to pay the balance because of lack of a policy. If 43 million was paid, which policy was used to pay, and not that could be used to pay 5 million, which is outstanding?
Governor?
Thank you. Maybe starting with the policy that was used. There was one that was running from 2014, which had a number of things, including our, we call
Sai TV, ketesiet neituitos bororiet.
Cooperative processing plant. Again, it's a World Vision funded project.
And it is operational, Chair.
It looks like a beautiful idea. You know, the sweet potatoes in my county, Kabondo. I would love to do a project like this. But the auditor indicates that the machines donated by World Vision Kenya had not been put to use. Is that the state of affairs?
No, it is operational, Chair. And I think the auditors have confirmed that.
When did it start operating? Because physical verification on 17th September 2024, roughly 1 year ago, because this is a past report, revealed that the machines donated by World Vision had not been put to use. Do you have any evidence that this very good idea is working?
We have even supplied photographs for the same and, in our response, but it's operational, I can confirm.
Auditor, have you paid a visit again?
Chair, my team visited this plant in July and they found it operational.
Okay, Senator Wakil.
Which page is that photograph?
You're okay. So this is, at least this is working. At least some World Vision thing that is working.
Yes.
Fresh Produce Pack House at the Youth Farmers Trading Center. 7.225 million has been paid, but the auditor says the project had been abandoned and the contractor was not on site. A fresh produce pack house at Youth Farmers Trading Center. Again, sounds like a very good idea for the hard-working farmers of Bomet. But you paid 7.2 million, but the project is abandoned. The land on which it was constructed, there was no title deed provided for audit review. Governor, could you give us some good news that this has now been completed?
Yes, your cooperatives. Yeah.
Just go straight. We have just about 10 or 15 minutes max. Just let us know whether it's complete and whether it's working, because this is a value for money question.
Thank you, Chair. The project is 95% complete. We had an issue with only one contractor who was doing the finishing, and we have since terminated the contractor. We are giving out the remaining works, which will be completed before maybe in the next 3 months.
What is the problem, Governor? This is also a 2020 procurement. Payments were done in 2020. Today is 4th of November 2025. 5 years later. 5 years later, this is Youth Farmers Trading Center. That's why you're having problems with Gen Z. What's the problem here?
Chair, you know, I come from Bomet. Such a statement, this team comprises, as Chair said, intelligent people. I know youth farmers. I have been there. It's abandoned. You can't tell us it will be ready in 3 months. It is not. Give us documents to show you have terminated the contract if you have. Give us documents that you have already availed the documentations on new contractor on site and the timelines. Chairman, this is just child play we're being taken through here. I have been to youth farmers.
Chairman,
it has no fence. It's an open field. That project is abandoned.
It has the fence and the gate is there. We have a letter from the contractor, MyMac Drive. And in the letter, they are accepting to be valued and we give to another contractor. That is the only pending work that we have for.
But that does not point to completion.
Yeah, this amount to share.
We are interested in the youth farmers getting value for money for something that was initiated in 2020.
Yes, once it is completed, Chair, it will, it will...
Chair, when you talk about due to budgetary constraints, on a project of 13.9 million rolling budget, why should you roll a budget for 13.9 million since 2020, 21, 22, 23, 24, up to now? Talking about budgetary constraints for a project worth 13.9 million to mitigate on the challenges of unemployment for youths. Really?
I think this question goes back to the governor. Just take your seat. Because the details are neither here nor there. The details are as provided by the Auditor General. What you are giving us are alternative accounts which are not verifiable. Because you have seen you've got your own version, the Senator has a different version, and the Auditor General also has a different version. Governor, I would think this would be something. Is this in Bomet Center?
This along, it's along Bomet Longisa Road.
Next to Mother and opposite Mother and Child Hospital, on your way to Bomet.
Okay, yeah, because I use that route.
Chair, I wanted to engage that man for a minute. I don't know what position he was in the county government. Okay. Chief Officer, so if you allow me, because he has given us a document, he has read something on his phone and mentioned the date. In August, you got a letter from somebody saying that they will relinquish the site and you can give it to someone else. So between that time and now, what have you done?
Thank you, Chair. The EGP system was, the procurement system was completed recently, and we are in the process of giving out...
You remind me of a story. One day, somebody was supposed to pay somebody 5,000, and the banks had gone on strike. But that debt had gone for 3 months. So when he came to me, told, all the banks have gone on strike. EGP just came the other day, really. You want to talk about EGP now?
Chair, why I asked that question is because, Chief Officer, these are very diligent people. And the time that we have here is precious time. Don't attempt to play games with this committee. Unless then you want to tell us that you want to go back to the same errors that we have pointed out to you, that you will float a tender, you get people to apply, you verify, you award the tenders, you give sufficient time for people to complain if they have to complain, and within 3 months all that will be done and the work will be completed and the facility will be in use. My friend, we know better. You rather not say anything than say things that reflect so badly on you and your appreciation of the work that you're doing today. You really need to apologize to the people of Bomet, because clearly you know where you're standing, you know. If you're going to follow the procedure, this facility will not be available for use in 3 months. You know that for free. Why are you trying to be smart?
So, Governor, I don't know why I get this feeling that your team does not seem to be very passionate about some of these public service issues, because you conceive very good programs. That one of dairy, this one of sweet potato, this one of the fresh produce pack house, they're excellent ideas. Why are you not seeing them to the logical conclusion? Because that is a measure of a leader. That is a measure of a manager. You take over complicated things, but you give them life. You are not breathing life into good ideas. You've got a lot of good ideas, but they're done badly. Messes everything up. Because of time, let's look at another one. Dr. Laboso Memorial Mother and Child Wellness Center. Again, sounds good because counties do not really do child wellness centers. In fact, pediatrics has been ignored in many counties. So in 2022, the contractor was paid 97% of the contract sum, 286 million. Is this complete? Governor.
Chair, the structure is now complete and we have started the equipping.
Is the work done 97%?
It's now complete, Chair, it's complete.
Auditor General?
Chair, it is complete as per BQ, but it is not operational because of lack of equipment.
Lack of?
Equipment.
So the 286 million, was it just for infrastructure or included in equipping?
Generator which has been supplied, kitchen equipment which have been supplied, oxygen generator which has been supplied. So beds, I think, are being delivered this week.
Is that part of the 286?
No, beds were not part of that, but the oxygen generator.
It's a separate contract?
Yes. Oxygen generator, the generator itself, and the kitchen equipment were part of this.
Okay, so another good idea. So if women and children cannot get services from it, is it done? You have laid cabro, you have put in a kitchen and all those things. But the essence of a women, mother and child wellness center is to provide certain services to the residents of Bomet and hopefully even the neighbors, because we don't have such in the neighboring counties. What is your plan to complete this wonderful idea?
It's true, Chair. The reason why we delayed in equipping was because we had been given a promise that the national government will be giving us equipment, but somehow it delayed. And that is why we have budgeted the money, although we have this national equipment support project that we also want probably get the heavy equipment like MRI and CT scan to install in the same facility. We have since made requisition for the same, but beds and some of the laboratory equipment will be purchased by the county government of Bomet. And hopefully, because it is in plan, probably in the next visit of His Excellency the President, it will be one of the projects that will be opened.
Chair, the query has a second limb that the project sits on three parcels of land, 2 of which have no title deeds. Do they have title deeds now?
We are in the final stages of acquiring title deeds because there were succession issues.
Maybe, Chair, Governor, you have said the equipment is, I saw the President launch something about equipping, like MES, I don't know, they call it management something. These equipments that you will get, will it be part of, is Dr. Labozo Memorial Mother and Child Wellness Center be part that will get those equipments?
Correct, the CT scan and the MRI.
So at least I saw the rollout. Maybe since you sit in COG, as the national government, by the agreement with county governments, have been able to supply the CT scan and other equipment to the hospitals.
Yeah, we have been able to receive one for our referral hospital. We have a CT scan under the same program.
So how many is Bomet receiving CT scans?
One.
One to the referral hospital?
Yes.
And which other you are also receiving?
For the mother and child, a CT scan and an MRI.
So have they delivered or they're in the process of delivery?
They are in the process. In fact, we've been doing follow-up. And even the company visited the structure and they made some adjustment in the room where the equipment will be supplied. I mean,
Chair, sorry for taking long, in the implementation and follow-up of these equipments, unlike medical equipment supply of the last 2015, I think 2020, and I remember and then Governor refused to sign, or he signed later reluctantly. Is it part of the training and updating these equipments? Is it still part of the supplier, or they will train country staff and provide necessary in case of software upgrade?
I think this is a different model because we are paying for service.
Or service for fee.
Yeah, service for.
Okay, let's leave that because you just have a few minutes to, I think we'll now be extremely brief. So we've looked at those projects with the disappointment on some of them. Irregular waterworks we had talked about when we were discussing the problems in your procurement. Irregular legal expenses. Do you have a county attorney?
We have.
Is the county attorney here?
No, he didn't make to be here.
Why wouldn't the county attorney be here when you're discussing irregular legal expenses? And the Auditor General has told us that there were avoidable penalties of 12.4 million, 9.8 million, 4.3 million. Who takes responsibility for what the Auditor General has defined as avoidable expenditure? Avoidable expenditure means that someone did not exercise their professional responsibility. Was there a county attorney during the audit period?
Yeah, he was there.
You have a solicitor?
Yes, I have. But during that year, I mean the year under review, we didn't have a solicitor.
So if the county attorney who takes professional responsibility for this place is not here, who is going to deal with it? Do you want to take responsibility as a CEO? Governor?
Not really, Chair. I think everybody should carry his own cross.
Yeah, so why didn't you bring him so that he can carry that cross? So due to limitations of time, these matters remain unresolved, and Auditor General, we need to see them appearing as prior year matters in the subsequent audit, because we cannot, it is easy for us to resolve that the county attorney be surcharged for the avoidable expenditure. Let's have it in the, let's have them as recurring issues so that we can test them and make that resolution. Supply and delivery of heavy road maintenance machinery. Again, a story of impunity and breaking of rules in procurement. You are procuring 244 million worth of equipment, and yet they were not in the annual development plan. The ADP gives birth to the procurement plan, isn't it?
Correct.
So how would you spend 244 million without it being in the ADP and therefore in the procurement plan? Governor, that's a question here. You spent 244 million, actually 241 million on machinery, crawler excavators, motor graders, and drum rollers. But the procurement of the equipment was not in the annual development plan. How then does that become a valid purchase? Does it mean that you wake up today and decide that now I'm going to spend 240 million of taxpayers' money?
Chairman, I think the acquisition of the heavy machinery was in line with the objective of construction of new roads and maintenance of existing roads in an efficient and effective manner as just one of the methods of implementation of the objective as by the CIDP. So the thinking here, Chair, because in our annual development plan, we had actually captured that we are constructing roads. But how was it to be done was not specified. So I want to agree with the committee that it should have been captured. But the thinking then was, because we are constructing roads, either you tender out or we do it using our own machinery, which we have to purchase, because in our CIDP we had indicated, and even in our annual development plans, that we are going to construct roads and maintain roads. But how was it to be done? Either you tender out or use your own equipment.
Governor, I disagree with that rationale. If it was 4 million, 3 million, you could get away with it, but 244 million is material. It's actually almost 5% of their total budget. 244 million.
Actually, Chairman, just to interject, 244 went to the procurement of crawler excavators, motor graders, and drum rollers. And if you look at 10.2, there is still additional heavy equipment for purposes of procurement of tippers and prime mover. That is 61.3. This question came in the previous audit, and I equally recall that the responses was similar to the one that Governor has just said. As to whether or not it was in the ADP, it's admitted it was not there. But then the county government went ahead, acquired them to the tune of over 300 million. It's 244 plus 61. And I can confirm as a resident of Bomet that it's got challenges. It has not achieved the objective that it was desired. To justify even the rationale the governor is saying, we had it in our plan but not specified. It is a subject that EACC is undertaking right now.
Was there professional opinion given on this procurement?
Yes, Chair, there was.
By the head of supply chain?
Yes.
Head of supply chain, it was your professional view that you could wake up outside the ADP and commit 250 million, 244 plus 10?
Thank you, Chair. I want to confirm to this committee that the procurement of this heavy equipment was in the procurement plan and the budget for Bomet County.
That is not the question. We are talking about the ADP. Is in the ADP the commitment that you have with the people that out of our CIDP 5-year,
Yes.
this year, these are the things we are going to focus on. Isn't that what we are talking about?
Yes.
Is it an important document?
It is, yeah.
Does it go through public participation?
Yes, it is.
Does it go through the assembly
Yes.
for approval? How then do you decide after going through all those processes to introduce 250 million in your procurement plan, in your budget, without that covenant with the people?
Chair, for the preparation of budget, maybe I can ask the CEO of budget to explain. Because what normally comes to procurement is the procurement plan and the approved budget.
So, Governor, this, you see, again, the recommendation was to EACC to investigate, and for the Kenya Institute of Supplies Management to take disciplinary action against the officer who gave a professional opinion on this. That was a recommendation, and EACC, I hope you have this also in your matrix. So we'll leave it to you.
Akostana nyum jataga jitab college nenu itugul olemi atinye kamang'unet ale imiten komie kakituiya kokeny tuwan ko sait notok ko sait 8 ak kebeberiat en betut notok nebo ko aeng kasi ole chang kot missing ng'alalutik cheterterchin chetesetai cheboto governor notok nebo county nebo Bomet Professor Hilary Barjok nemiten en taitab committee notok nebo Senate netinyegei ak ng'alek chotok chebo boisiet notok nebo chepkondok en counties ako chotok ko pichainik chotok cheitun agenge en ketesiet notok nebo Asai TV. Ibwat ile logoiwek chutok ko kakomuch kotestai ng'alalutik cheterterchin chebo tepset nebo kenai ole kikimuch keboisieto chepkondok cheterterchin en projects chotok cheterterchin chotok chekikimuch kinde chepkondok chutok en county notok nebo Bomet ole alak ko kikon tebutik cheterterchin chotok cheboto ole kimuch keboisieto chepkondok chutok cheito aliet noton anan chepkondok chotok chemiten barak ole kaketiny kora akobo logoiwek chetinyegei ak Mata Laboso Memorial chepkondok chotok chekakimwa kakitepsen governor kele kimuch koboisien chepkondok chotok cheito bilionishek 288 chekiliponji contractor en kenyitab 2022 ne koitet nekergei ak 97 en bogol. Tebutik chotok chekakomuch kowal governor kakodefenden anan kakomuch korib kot missing akobo tebutik chotok chekakimuch kinde en tainyin notok nebo anan en tait notok nebo Senate en betut noton nebo rani ule testai ngalalutik cheterterchin ketebsen koboto senator noton nebo Nandi Steve Cherargei nekakomuch kotebse kora governor Barchok koboto kora logoiwek cheterterchin chetinyegei ak chepkondok cheboto ortinwek cheboto project cheterter chotok chebo teksosiek cheterterchin chekikimuch keboisien chepkondok choton che ngisub kole maityindos kosubkei ak report noton nemiten en tai noton nebo Senate in committee noton nebo county public en ingunitok. Kasta nenyun amache sobet kekushikong kora anan en uitugul leimi sobet kekushikong kele tos une akobo boisiet noton nebo chepkondok en komoswek cheterterchin konamgei ak oleu ako ibwat kora ile en oimbo uyan ko kiimuch kora kibagengeit noton nebo noton ne iborien kirwautik choton chebo biikab emet choton ko director noton nebo public prosecution nekiimuch kokon kerutik cheterterchin konamgei ak chikilisiet nekisuldaen konamgei ak oleu boisiet noton nebo chepkondok chebo government noton nebo Bomet ak keitita kora taitab kapkirwok Professor Barchok noton nebo Milimani Law Court ole kiimuch koesio kesisiek tugul anan walutik choton chebo tebutik chekikimache kowal ine ak kelipan chepkondok ak komanda ak en nguni kotestai kora tebutik noton nebo arorutik choton chetinyegei ak lipanet noton nebo chepkondok kora cheterterchin choton cheboto public service miten kora arorutik cheterterchin ole kakokoromit kot missing kakomuch kowal governor alak kosubkei ak senator kokere kouon makiwal komie kit noton netestai kekushingong en Senate en nguni. Chitab kolenjin en uitugul olemi ame sikobit kora kekushikong en yon imiten kityo gaa yon kwangen ale kochang boisionik cheikere ile imuch kokikinde chepkondok project anum ako akoi en nguni kotomo kimuch kesuldaen ako kiritebegei ile amune kotom kewalun kabisa missing en korwek choton chemiten keteben kelenji une accountability en ng'alek choton chebo chepkondok chekakimuch kinde oret. For example miten kora teksosiek cheterterchin cheboto sipitalisiek mi dispensaries ireyu ako mara chepkondok ko kikimuch kinde kobaten akoi en nguni kotomo kiroksi ortinwek chuton tom kiroksi project chemi yuton miten ECD classes che mara tom kiroksi akoi en nguni komoe sikobit kekushikong kityo en nwokindo akobo tuguchuton tugul asikobit kenai kele en kasarta netestai ng'alalutik choton chebo ketebsen governor Dr. anan Professor Hilary Barchok en Senate en nguni ko une tos ikose ile miten alak en tuguk choton che mara tom kimuch kiityi komonut en ng'alek choton chebo boisietab chepkondok choton chebo biikab emet missing chenomu county government noton nebo Bomet asikobit ichengan en oret noton nebo simet nebo studio asikobit keng'ololchine tuan en kibagenge en bet noton neunitok en kasarta netesetai tebutik cheterterchin en taitab Senate noton nebo ketebsen governor noton nebo Bomet konamgei ak oleu ng'alek choton chebo boisietab chepkondok koityi project cheterter. Ker kit netestai sikeweken.
746 counties were on strike, mind in strike.
Yes, that's a good story. You must stop the governor there because doing a good job must be done within the law. You cannot say that you're doing better than other counties, and for that reason, then you are at liberty to operate outside legal provisions. Because the 35% provision in law is not a suggestion. It is true that maybe there isn't a county that has met it, but I think what you should be telling us is whether you, from where you sit, you actually think that it's a realistic thing to do. Do you want to propose changes to the existing law, or what would be the way out? It's a problem to every county. You are already outside by more than 15%.
I agree, Senator Mbua, but what the chair was asking, why? I think because I wanted to give the way forward on how...
No, I actually share Senator Mbua's concern. Because yes, you can tell us how your doctors are happy, but development is crime. Development is suffering. There's a passage on that here, inadequate allocation to development. So, people of Bomet are not getting development because half the money goes to salaries. And I believe another 10% goes to the county assembly. Only 40% of the money that we are fighting for from Nairobi goes to actual implementation of projects. So even if doctors are happy, the rest of the residents of Bomet are not happy. They are not getting their share of development as envisaged in the law. Now, members,
because you are there, what it means is the doctors could be happy, but there are no medicine in the hospitals. That's what it could mean. That you're spending a lot more money on paying wages and salaries to doctors, and you're left with very little to purchase medicine for the people.
Those are some of the challenges that we are facing. But maybe just for the record, Chair, for development, I think this financial year we have 34%, which is above the minimum that has been set. So, which is also an indication that we are not ignoring that part of.
We'll let the auditor report to us on that, because the maths is not adding up. If you're already on 50% on salaries and 10% on assembly, if you're saying 34% is going to development, it means that only 6% is going to operations, which is impractical. So in terms of fiscal responsibility, your county is fiscally irresponsible. And if we had the old formula, we would have punished you by withdrawing some equitable share from Bomet. And I think there's a conversation by members of the Senate that we should reintroduce it to provide an incentive for counties to do the right thing. Could I, because time will not allow us, the residual issues in this long report, we have already agreed with the Auditor General that they'll find their way in the current year audit report. When it comes to the receiver of revenue, Auditor, you will need to advise us whether this receiver of revenue report is professionally rendered and whether it is something that the Senate should consider. Ab initio, let's look at it. Was it prepared by an accountant, the receiver of revenue report? Auditor? Was that report prepared by an accountant? Can you tell whether it was prepared by someone with the right professional qualification and with the right professional responsibility?
Chair, the officer did not write his or her ISPAC number.
So, are you able to tell whether this has been prepared by a professional? If a doctor got an X-ray report that is unattributed, should the doctor go ahead and prescribe on the basis of an X-ray report whose source is not verifiable?
No.
So what do we make of this ROR? Because we must point out these things. Our job is not academic. We have 238 million shillings here, which is a drop of 6 million. Instead of revenue growing, revenue is dropping. And then you bring us a report that is not owned and not signed by someone who bears a professional responsibility. This tells us that this is a looting, on-source revenue could be a looting spree. Why should we, Governor, why should we even waste time discussing this report? You are a professor, aren't you?
Yes, Chair.
There are things professors can do which persons with masters cannot do, isn't it? In the academic world.
Yes.
There are things members of ISPAC and qualified accountants can do which advocates cannot do.
Right.
In preparation of financial statements, which profession bears that responsibility?
It would have been the accountants.
So tell me, which of these people is a professional with that responsibility and sworn to a code of conduct?
Can give to my CEO of Finance to respond to that.
And we don't want stories. Just tell us precisely that this report was prepared by ISPAC member number XYZ? Or it was prepared by the driver to the CEO? Because that's also possible.
Thank you, Chair. The report was prepared by the Director of Revenue. He's an accountant, but I'm yet to check his back number.
Where is that Director of Revenue? Where is the Receiver of Revenue?
I'm not here.
The Receiver of Revenue is not here. And you came to discuss the report of the Receiver of Revenue. Governor, how do you discuss the report of the Receiver of Revenue without the Receiver of Revenue?
He was informed, but I'm not sure why he's not here.
Who's the CEO of Bomet County Government?
The governor.
You didn't carry your attorney, they are legal questions. You didn't carry a Receiver of Revenue, we have financial statements that just indicate serious problems. How do you explain revenue dropping from 244 million to 238 million? Now that you're the CEO, can you explain to us? Because it's an upward trend elsewhere.
Of course, the Receiver of Revenue should have been here to explain that.
You did bring him, so you take responsibility. How did revenue drop from 244 to 238? Are you collecting and pocketing?
Jitab kolejin hangnale igere itestai subi ngalalu kyoto chemiten en Senate en nguni ole kakokoromit kot missing tebut kyoto cheketeben governor ole en nguni keteben kosubkei ak ngalek kyoto chebo ribetab chepkondok anan ko financial matters en taitab bunge noton nebo Senate ole kakitipsen kobaten kakomuch governor kora kowirchi siyet CEO asikobit kowal tebutik chotok kole en tebutik kora chotok chetinyegei ak chepkondok ko kakimuch kora kisipto akoi netelelchin ngalek chotok chebo revenue en county notok nebo Bomet. Kou notok ngala ole en nguni kora amache sikobit anam simet asikobit akas ole imwoe ne akinye chitab kolenjin en lombo nyumbani konamgei ak ngalek chotok chebo chepkondok chotok chemakiboisien komie en county. Ako chutachu ko kakikochi mandate kandoik chotok chebo polatet asikobit koker kole kakushi kong ak boisionik chotok chebo komonut asikobit koitun en oret notok nekararan kot missing. Ibwat ile en kasarta notok nebo arawetab 8 kora kokikimuch kobit tebutik cheterterchin kosubkei ak betetab chepkondok en county notok nebo Bomet ole kikimuch keyai chikilisiet notok nenen ako en yotok komiten allegation cheterterchin anan chekikimuch kemwaitaen kora kandoik chotok chebo county kele kimuch kotinygei or nenangonin ak chepkondok choton che kimuch kobetyo en county chekakile makimuch kesuldaen ak nole miten ngalek choton chetinyegei kora ak sipitalisiek che atkan kora konan kemwoe kelen ye uon mootin kerichek mara miten sipitalisiek choton che mara matinye kot missing ak koitet noton neyamat nebo konyoik. Amache oib kerengung asikobit ketestai tuwan ak olombo sait 9. Sai TV, hello.
Hello.
Sai TV. Kongoi dogon missing kole ma kotestai kisub live. Yes. Kitestai kunonto kobaten amache aib kora kerengung asikobit imwowon ile tos une boisionik choton che kokomuch kotestai kisuldaen akoi en nguni olan kitestai kisubi kora kele tos mwoe ne ngalek choton chebo Senate. Asai TV.
Asai TV, hello.
Hello.
Amune la studio.
Bye bye yo lipo studio.
Bas, tutakama zene ngidlapo tani.
Toeda.
Konurle kabisa ni amo kotaketebune chine kama nanone ne lekiba kabisa. Igere makongete 244 million okoi ukicherundana mpaka 238 million. Amma digere ne geritosi en Bomani ningele kosigen kisigen kelchin inegen ngecherana anyine ngoi gavana. Ako ngera ya chekibo Bomet koseretyo. Amma omwoun nguni ngeng'olole komakomi Bomet nekiroktoen Bomet en maendeleo. Bomet kabisa kokikeseretyo kabisa akobo chito agenge nekikilewen ko ikere ile inye. Komanya kisibwe kou non kachamanye nekitebindone kakouitu ng'alek nomo ne. Kirose kinkwame. Yaisi kiame lakini korketebe nekiba. Ikere ile kisise kilamit kokoye kilamit somosino. Kunoton akechek ikere akechek keumiondosi en yu konyolu keteben chito kele kibam rabisiek. Ngapi echek ko kikeumiose. Ngele Bomet County kodora tukiache. Ikase ngele Bomet makodora maendeleo huyu kimiten ule kamurinye. Kine yake tukini vlog lakini kuminda ukamie itine mande ondo yang kakenam ikere ile ne. Churutige ikere ile churutige meket. Nekiba rabisiek kongen. Nekiba rabisiek kongen. Konguni na maketeben mechine. Kinakimunye wameka kebab kenye. Uyu kakenam ukielile kinamwe barchoki nonine akowekwe mali chebo boror. Kosir komyan Bomet kobo chito agenge. Akebiryote ako kikibirchini chito kura ako tindoi rabinik. Omwamwaun nguni momi maendeleo ikase kityo nibo barchoki. Moikanye otile abo Bomet County. Nibore ile iriakte. Ondibichine kimanye ketebune kounon akenomwechine kokonu rabinik. Momi mokiririe kabisa kokiraya chebo Bomet. Ngap kosir keumyan akebore kitinye kabale momi. Kotakotebunechine komie kotor oikakenai ile mi rabisiek kenam akewekwe rabisiek. Lakini chongindo kora bakikochi chon kibore kabakongam kora kotakotebi. Tukobetyo rabisiek chon kotakebendi barabara kora. Nibichine kacham ongetebunechine totab kamasine kulobote.
Kongoi neo. Joto ko alak ako kitestai kisubi angen ale en nguni ko kariker ole u ngalek en senate tebutik choto chekitebe ak ole walundo kandoik ko tos ikere ile en walunet noto nebo governor kowalchini na committee ko tos ikere ile miten imanda orititab walunet anan koromen kot missing tebutik kosir walutik namuten agenge akoi senate kotakisub asikobit keweke.
On
Asai TV, ketesiet neituitos bororiet.
Chitab kolejin agere ale kakinyoru kaimutiet noton nebo transmission kongeten Senate kobaten kityeme sobit keker kele kakiwekun ngalalet noton netestai nebo agenge en parliament noton nebo Senate noton nebo emoni ole testai ngalalutik choton chebo ketebsen serikalit noton nebo county noton nebo
profession that is lesser, but some professions are regulated. If you are a receiver of revenue, director of revenue, you can't do these things. First of all, auditor, you should have rejected these financial statements. You should have not gone ahead and in fact, this you gave them a qualified opinion. You gave them a qualified opinion for financial statements whose signatory you don't know. How do you know the owner of this signature? Look, when were they approved?
Yeah, I'll need to look at the copies which were given before that, but again, we must have taken details of names from the Roman page 5, item 2, key entity information and management, where we have the head of revenue reporting as Langat Zefania.
No, just go back to where the material disclosures are. Statement of receipts and disbursements. Yes. At the bottom, county receiver of revenue. You've got a scribble there is no name. Next, head of revenue reporting, a scribble without a name, without an ISPAC number. On which date were they approved? Governor, on which date?
November.
This is your report. On which date were these ROR statements approved?
22nd November.
No. It's the governor's report.
Sorry.
It's indicated as 20 from the stamp. It's 27 November.
Now, up there, the accounting policies and explanatory notes to these revenue statements form an integral part of the revenue statements. These revenue statements were approved on dash 2024. What is there in the dash? What is that there in the dash?
It's not indicated, Chair.
Governor, can you, as a professor, heading account as a government, do you accept this? Would you, would you accept this? Please, let's run county governments with some seriousness. And you must, and it's telling that the ROR is not here. And I believe it is deliberate. He or she is running away. Could we get the name of the receiver of revenue so that we can capture that in our report? What's the name of the receiver of revenue?
Mr. Korir.
Full name. We want the full name.
Thomas Korir.
Thomas Korir. Clerks, can you capture that? Because if the receiver of revenue cannot come to present on the report of the receiver of revenue, that receiver of revenue has no business being in office. If this report has not been properly signed, that receiver of revenue is failing. If revenue is dropping, the receiver of revenue is incompetent. If systems that you chose are not working now, the receiver of revenue is unfit to hold public office. Patrick, there is a section in the Public Audit Act where we have the power to declare someone unfit to hold public office. This is it. We are going to declare, what was the name? Thomas Korir, unfit to hold public office. We have rarely used that provision, but it is there in the Public Audit Act. This is one classical example. Unless, Wakili, you appeal for clemency, but that is a position of the law.
I will be guided by the chair, and of course, as the senator from the county of Bomet, such glaring discrepancies and deliberate, leaving behind responsible personnel tells of either an option to avoid responding and get excuses and buy more time, or the incompetence that is exposed across the entirety of the departments.
So, due to limitations of time, you had indicated that we are voting on a very important instrument for the county governments. We cannot miss that vote because, despite all these challenges, we are still committed to making sure that devolution works. We don't send money to these rogue officers. We send money to the people of Bomet. If that be the case, do we have
actions and discipline, Chair, I want to commit to you that I will do so. Otherwise, thank you for the way you have handled us, a very respectable committee, and we have learned a lot. It's also a session that we are all learning. Thank you so much, Chair.
Senator Wakili will donate our time to you for closing remarks.
Thank you, Chairman, for...
Jota ko bijani kyoto chebo agenge en agenge kongeten Senate uletesetai ng'ololchinet notok neterterchin nebo tebutik chekoromen kot mising en kwenunoton nebo committee ak membaik choton chebo executive koboto governor notok nebo Bomet Hilary Barchoge. Ole kakobit tebutik cheterterchin konamgei kora ak kandoindet noton nebo kayumetab aisurut en Bomet County ne notok ko Thomas Korir. Ole kakomngat committee notok kole kosubkei ak tebutik choton che makimuch kewal komie kobendi sikobit kobarasta icheket kobun sirutiet notok nenin kole manyoljin ofisit notok. Chotok ko alak kityo en arorutik choton chetesetai kisubi en ketesiet sikobit keibun kou eleu en Senate. Kobaten amae atestai anam nekit simoishek oeng asikobit ikonon kerengung konamgei ak ole kirtai walutik choto chebo anan walunet noto nebo tebutik chekitebe ole kakoter akine senator noto nebo county nebo Bomet wakili SK amache sobit anam simet asikobit kora akasole tos imwoe ne en komosan imiten Asai TV.
Asai TV
allo Agimi komye kiboiboi.
Kakere iman gavana nebo Bomet iteten akobo rabisiekab emet chebo county chebo Bomet. Kaikai yon kakiko rabisiek kotoretech koboisiek ndamun ami county inoton. Amwoni kongoi kora senator ndamun isubwech rabisiek chon kabisa.
Yes.
Ane kekuron Vivian en Kerta.
Kele Vivian en ano?
Vivian en Kerta.
Okay, en Kerta.
Kimache isubwech rabisiek chon kabisa yai kobetyo rabisiek chetende. Kongoi mising amwochini kongoi senator kabisa ngosubwech kabisa rabisiek chu.
Iman.
Kongoi kabisa.
Kongoi no Vivian.
Kongoi.
Mongen ale tos kerengung kone chitab kolenjin en uitugul ole itestai ikere pichanik choto cheitun agenge en agenge kongeten Senate choto kitinyege ak tebutik chekitokyin executive koboto governor notok nebo county nebo Bomet. Asai TV.
Asai TV alo.
Hello.
Iyamuna kerwenye.
Ami komye kabisa.
Iboiboiye ke en ole kaale. Yisubi kabisa tetusiet kabisa kapkirwok ino.
Yes.
So kit nekimache kabisa kimache kobit imani. Kimache kobit imani so nai kandoik alak ko ingen anan kelewen kandoindet ak koboisien rabinik en oret nemanoton. So tolinyon inei komauon makiker boisionik chekitestai en gavana. So kemwoe kongoi kimache kobit imani en kapkirwok.
Yes.
Kiboisien rabinik en oret nemanoton. Moe sikonai chito kole makitokoin tugukab emet o. Ingele kong'et nguni kobit kinai bare one time ko sikele one time ko kosibto boisionik chemoyoe chito. So kemoche nai kobit imanda si en biik alak chetakeleweni konai kole makitokoin tugukab emet. Anibuch inei kisubi kabisa nyon kouno.
Kongoi neo kabisa. Yes, chotok po alak en kerutik chotok kikitestai kisubi konamgei ak tetutiet noton nemiten en taitab bunge nebo Senate konamgei ak tebutik choton chekiteben governor konamgei kora ak rabinik choton chekimwoitoen kele mara kikobetyo kosubkei ak report ako kikakitokyi project anum kobaten en nguni kotom kirokse ako kikelipan chepkondok chutok ko kit noton netestai en Senate en nguni. Pametan simet agenge Asai TV.
Hello?
Eye. Akasale miten mutya chorwa stewege miten ele miten bolet neo kot mising kobaten stewege en oret noton nebo 01168 inyorwech en oret noton nekararan kot mising asikobit ketach kerengu konamge ak oleu. Asai TV.
Hello, Asai TV.
Hello.
Iya kakesweita nyimanai kabisa. Korome komiti kabinet age ose chama.
Yes.
Kimache biik chelen kochil konda kounon anibu kobetos tugukab emet. Iya kitamanyoywei barcho karan ole ye. Yaani komi kachungusan biik cheboisie tuguk.
Yes.
Imuche boisiet inendet mi biik chechoriren. Anibu borionone itane benefitemien yon ko istari. Koi wakili sige amun ko wine. Eye ko kakoi gavana nemamwou.
Yes.
Anibu pongezi en sige isibian tugukab emet kounon. Makimache biik kochorsa, kiwendi chorsa naiboisie biikab emet. Ako nemi mushara Kina pile mianye bichongot kenyor chorik chekiam tugukab emet. Kikoe kerkong'et nekararan kabisa. Kwanza chichon konam aisurut non kobet. Oker ole kaistogei en ofis. Immediate best. Nongo Stanley Gembo, Narok County.
Bongo Stanley katuji lombo Narok.
Kongoi kabisa, kongoi.
Okay. Choto ko alak en kerutik choto chekitoche kobun biikab emet choto kikakimwa kele icheket cheteche kot missing ng'alek choto chebo kayumetab chepkondok ngamun kokile nyoketaksenin kinyokeib koba keyum en wiyan asikobit keker kele chepkondok choto kokamuch kotoretin en boisionik choto cheterterchin choto chebo bandab tai. Ama keweken Senate asikobit keker kele tesetai ne kewek kora kunyokebushi ko ng'alek oeng kotom kiwang'u en bet noto nebo betutab raini.
So I hope that this time round we are going to see a better report. We are not going to see the embarrassments that we are seeing here on the ROR, and we are going to see a report that is reflective of the stature and the professionalism of the person who's leading the county government of Bomet. So we will adjourn at this point to allow us to go to the chamber to vote so that county governments can get money to do the right things, not some of the things you have seen here. The meeting is therefore adjourned. We'll meet again on Thursday.
Jata ko ngalalutik choto chetesetai en Senate notok nebo emoni ole kaketepsen en kasarta noton nekoi kot missing governor notok nebo county nebo Bomet Hilary Barchok en kwenetab alak en kandoik choton chebo county cheboto CEO notok nebo county ak kandoik kobun motosiek cheterterchin chenomegei ak chepkondok en county notok nebo Bomet. Ako akira ale takochang kot missing kerutik choton chebo biikab emet konamgei ak ole kou tetutiet noton nebo tepset komugul kongeten kan kotoige akoi en nguni ole amache sobet anam simet kora agenge ak anam nebo oeng bas aketar kunotok ameteun anyun mpiret nebo ibushi konginye ile tos une ng'alek choton chepkondok en county. Asai TV.
Asai TV, hello.
Hello. Anyorun kabisa. Okay, akira le ine makitindosi en oret noton nekararan kot missing kobaten siteweke sikobit kora ketestai tuan kibagenge en kasarta noton nekakong'et boroindo nekiten kot missing asikobit kiwong'u. Kaniton ni ko kasubet noton nebo ng'alalutik choton chekatestai en Senate konamgei ak tebutik choton che kakimache kenai kot missing ole kiboisioto chepkondok choton chebo county government noton nebo Bomet. Ibwat ile niton ni kotinyegei ak siret noton nebo notok nebo report neiboru kele chepkondok anum kokakimuch kityakyi project anum kobaten kisubi ine tetutik alak ko mara ko mait chepkondok ako kakomong chepkondok amamiten ireyu lakini mait yu miten boisiet ko chotok ko alak en tebutik chotok chekatestai en senate en betut notok nebo raini. Amekitu kinotok kobaten ibwat ile testai sobit kebushi kongkot missing konamgei ak tebutik chotok chekatestai en raini en kasarta notok nemiten en tai kebushi kongkot kora missing kinetkei akobo ng'olyon akobo ole yaitoi boisionik kandoik chotok kikakimuch kilewen ak kikochi shariatet asikobit kowolwech en oret notok nebo kosuldaen boisionik chotok chebo bandab tai koityi chitab emet nebo kotugul.
Sai